Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Muturayo. I am a software engineer based in Lagos, Nigeria. Today, I'm going to be talking about the things I would focus on if I were to start a backend engineering career in this 2025. So let's go into it. So the first thing I would focus on is to learn like a proper language, a language that has a good ecosystem that I can use for multiple things. Simple languages like Python, JavaScript, and Golang, right? These languages are universal, right? You can use them for quite a number of things. JavaScript, you can use it for both. You can use it for backend, but at the same time, you can still use it for like ML. You can use it for front end, just some quick work. Python too does the same thing, right? It's very flexible. Golang too, right? Instead of learning like static languages like maybe like C sharp or Java, those languages too are very important, right? But if I'm starting a career today in 2025, I would focus on learning like JavaScript, Python, and then Golang, right? The second thing I would focus on if I were to start a backend engineering career in 2025 is I would try to understand how the web works, HTTPS, status codes, all these things are they look simple, right? But they are fundamentals that if you don't get to understand how they work, they will eventually like hinder your growth in future, right? You realize that every just to connect two pieces together, you're unable to do so because there is some background knowledge that is quite missing, right? Yeah. So the third thing I would learn if I were to be starting my career as a backend engineer in 2025 is databases. So there are two different kind of database. We have like relational databases and non-relational databases. But in the popular ones for relational, we have MySQL and Postgres that are the most popular ones, right? So they are the two. I mean, I'll just try to get a brochure of what the different types of database is, and then I would understand MySQL, Postgres, and then MongoDB for non-relational basis very well. So an extent where I'm very comfortable in it. I mean, imagine now you're now you know a very good language, you understand how the web works. Now add like understanding databases to it, man. You're almost good. You're already good to go. There's nothing else left. The fourth thing I would focus on learning if I were starting my career as a backend engineer in 2025 is Git, right? Git is very, very important for collaboration. You can be on a one man team and then you are pushing code, you are solving things, and then no issue comes up. But the moment you start working together in a team and other you need other people to share and then to collaborate with, you might start experiencing issues. So knowing what Git is, version control system, GitHub, basically like there's GitLab too, which is like a computer to GitHub, right? So it makes things very, very easy. If you understand Git, you're able to collaborate with other engineers and you're able to work on like big part of projects. I mean, you can even try understanding Git from maybe even before you get your first job. You can do open source work and see how collaborations work, pull requests, branches, merging, and all of those things. Then the next thing is system design. System design is quite important, understanding how different pieces of software come together and what makes them function. So it's very important for you as a backend engineer to understand how multiple systems come together and work as one. um Another thing would be data structure and algorithms, right? I know that a lot of people think that data structure is just something they need for interviews. They just need to cram lit codes and then just pass it and just get the job. Well, understanding the fundamentals, how DSA works, data structures and algorithms would make you like a 100 times engineer basically, because instead when you're making decisions, instead of using this particular way, instead of solving a solution in a particular way, you can test for the speed just by merely looking at the code. You can say if there are other ways to fix issues that are already coming up. Like before writing code, basically it makes you cracked. I don't know. There's a way, just as people feel like people that write or people that study computer science in school. Of course, you can always learn these things even if you don't study computer science in school. But these things are theoretical things that make you like when you open the practical or when you start the practical, you can already see because you already know how the theory works. It's easy to bring both theory and practical together just to sum up one thing. So understanding how data structures, algorithms, how they work, and how everything comes together to become one is also a very essential thing to learn as or is a very essential thing to know as a backend engineer. Finally, if I were to be learning backend engineering in 2025, one very important thing I would hammer on is understanding how to use AI tool. We have Cloud AI, we have ChatGPT, there's Gemini, right? These tools were built to help us as engineers to improve our productivity, right? So instead of trying to figure out everything out by myself. Of course, you have to know it, you have to understand it. But when I run into issues or when I need more explanations on something, I can easily go to this AI and say this LLM and say, oh, this is what I have, this is the problem, this is the solution I'm having. Can you explain this thing to me? So we as engineers should use more tools, or we as engineers should use more tools to improve our productivity as engineers, or to become better engineers basically. In conclusion, the final thing I would be learning as somebody that were to start as a backend engineer in 2025 is just the AI tool. I hope you found this video very helpful. If you did, please like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thank you. See you in my next video. Bye bye.